Everyone, Ichi Nissan da. For AEW news. And of course, the best guy's Tony Khan. So AEW Grand Slam went down. Aussie fans, I know you're tuned in right now in the chat. Some of you guys, let me know what you feel about this. The Aussie AEW stars hit the Nutbush dance at the end of House Rules Brisbane, which this is what you do at a live show. I think this is cool. This is fun. Where's Buddy, guy? Where's Buddy? Buddy? Fuck, man. I don't see Buddy two-stepping, guy. So moving along here, Dynamite on Wednesday did a 604,000 viewership. Collision just did like a 560, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or 557 or whatever. So now Collision, when they do like a special quote unquote Collision, it wasn't Collision, it was Grand Slam. So when they do a special show like that, it can rival Dynamite on TV. But we're meant to believe there's 500,000. So did they all tune in on Max as well? Or do the numbers not go up that high on Saturdays, Dave? It's cooked. And there's no way Collision ever beats Dynamite, right, Dave? But what about when they do 50,000 different viewers? Dave wants us to believe that all those people exist on Max. They did a 0.12 in the key demo. Good for Dynamite. Honestly, good for them. I'm not even trying to hate on that. But they were in, well, let's break it down a little bit more. Break it down. Raj Giri post, 604 viewers. It was down 8% from the week before. Key demo was down 20%. Doesn't include the HBO simulcast. The audience was the lowest of the 3 episodes since Nielsen updated their methodology. But MJF's doing these interviews saying, oh, yeah, we're bigger year over year. And it's like, you're literally not. We can see it. We can look at it. So year over year, Dynamite was up 4%. So there's a little bit. Okay, here's the rare week. I'll eat my words this week, I guess. But typically, this isn't the case. But the key demo was down 25% year over year. So the overall was up 4%, but the key demo was way down because Dave's been lying. That's the only way that happens. A little bit more on things that have been happening, and we're going to talk about MJF coping. But they were in Australia, and oh boy, there's a lot in here. And there was ice chants in the crowd for Brody King and MJF. So there you go. And I know that people are touting this like a W, but doing the political thing, it's just divisive. And there's a reason Brody King isn't leaning into it, because I'm telling you all, they were talked to about this. And it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. I'm just letting you guys, or how you feel about it. I'm just saying that's what WB, they were like, they clearly talked to people about this. And they have a bit of an ownership stake, and they're not going to cancel Brody King. Like, there's no reason to do. He didn't do anything wrong. You're allowed to believe what you believe, and if they chant shit at you, but you don't want this to be your gimmick. His gimmick is they bark at him. Okay, so they did that to Rick Steiner. They've done that to. They did that to Junkyard Dog. They do that to Braun Breaker. That's like 12 guys' thing. So what is Brody King known for? He's the ice guy. That's crazy. Like, that is such an L. You do not want that to be your gimmick. You do not want that to be what you're known for. It's a massive L, period. Even if it was like, go ice, that would be equally as cringe. You're the go ice guy. Come on, man. It's not about the wrestling. You know, so you can hear the crowd chanting ice right now as I'm talking about this on Dynamite Live. Time Cop, if you're listening to this in a clip on another day. So whatever town or city they're in, they're chanting it right now. So that's what he's known for. What happens when that's not a thing anymore? Oh, they'll just move on, and he doesn't lean into it. There's a reason for that. And I'm glad that Brody King's over, and he's over with this fan base. Okay. But I just don't know if that's going to fare well or if that's a good look in general, because you're automatically turning off a bunch of people whichever way you go. And that's, I mean, people's prerogative if that's the way you want to go. But why is Brody King not coming out wearing that shit? Why is Hangman clearly getting talkings too? Like, we know what's going on. We can obviously see what's going on. And, CNN recently, we're going to talk about it, like, they confirmed as well. We're just getting more and more confirmation as time goes on that WBD owns a small share in AEW. And clearly Brody King's not feeding into it anymore for a reason. And even MJF kind of seemingly ignored it a little bit there. And they're chanting it everywhere he goes. And I just don't know if that's, I mean, look at Colby Covington. His whole thing, his whole gimmick, if you guys want to talk UFC, was one thing. And then when that sort of became irrelevant or not as fucking, I don't know. It's just when you take the political route, it's bound to fall off, at some point, because society and people change and shit, and times change and things evolve, as so whatever. Moving along here. Speaking of which, and the fuck ice thing, it landed on John Oliver's show, which people were talking about. I don't know, again, if that's a W. Like, John Oliver is a fucking cringe lord. All of these fucking late night hacks are just super cringe. And John Oliver's one of them, but he used this fuck ice thing in a monologue. And again, it's not, these late night shows aren't about like joking with celebs and having a good time and making people laugh about the world. Where the fuck is it? Did I unbookmark it by accident? I don't know. No, this is it right here. Sorry for the fucking scrolling.
Max, Amazon Prime, all of this sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't love hearing my employer's name on that list. Though I guess at least I do get a reminder of what the company's name is this year. It's also slightly satisfying to know that one place those ads have been running is in front of AEW Wrestling, meaning that ICE is having to pay money to appear alongside this. It's still very good. Now, DHS claims those ads are worth.
Max, Amazon Prime.
So, like, what is the point? I wish I had the full monologue. Like, what was the point of this rant?
All of this sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't love hearing my employer's name on that list. Though I guess at least I do get a reminder of what the company's name is this year. It's also slightly satisfying.
So, like, I don't know. He's saying, I don't like seeing my employer. Yeah, John Oliver, a lot of people who give you money are on fucking lists lately, bud. I'm willing to bet. So, yeah. You know what I mean? These guys all fucking, it's just like political preaching. They just all became hacks. It's like, I just don't get it. Like, one way or the other. I don't fucking know. I'm not sitting here trying to say like, oh, they're politics, or I'm just saying like everyone does the same thing. How fucking hack can you be? Just put on a good show and have funny moments. Conan was the best. I feel like we're missing Conan and Jay Leno. Letterman was good too. But even they kind of slowed up after a while. It just becomes routine. You can only do that same job for so long before you're like, you just fall into the trap of like the writers write all the shit for you. And moving along here, though, let's talk more about Grand Slam instead of Grandstand. Get it, guys? Instead of Grandstand, we'll talk about Grand Slam. No? Anyone? Okay. All right. I'm over here making dad jokes. So John Moxley went to a time limit draw, and he called a fucking audible in the ring because the crowd was not feeling it at Grand Slam House Rules or in Grand Slam Australia. This was on Grand Slam or House Rules, whichever event. And then he went to a time limit draw, and then he like starts calling an audible to have a face-off.
Referee Stephon Smith.
And he's like, we're going to have a face-off, or give us more time.
I think Moxley.
This is bullshit. Nah. So now he's baby facing. Moxley's like, this is bullshit. It's a time limit draw. I don't like this either. Now it's cool to do that to try and get the fans behind you and shit, but it's like, why is Moxley doing this baby face shit? And then his crew are like the heels getting their heads shaved and shit. Why isn't there a storyline? Why isn't there? It's just happening. It's really offensive to me because of how much all of the things Mox did. Him going, this is bullshit. I don't like time limit draws, man. That's not a reason or enough for me to go to buy into, oh, this is a good guy now defending his title. What a champion. That's what fucking Dave and Tone thinks they're booking. They're not. Explain this to us, goddammit. Give us a reason for it happening.
Wanted to defeat Takeshita tonight. Definitively, Tony. The time limit draw, I don't think sits well with either man.
I agree with that. Moxley, very disappointed. Takeshita, you saw the face. Oh, this is not done.
Oh, Takeshita! The elbow! The raging fire!
And like, good on Mox to take the move from the Young Buck to fucking from Takeshita there, the young lion, to like help get him over and propel him up a little bit if that's the case. But again, man, you don't have to sicko service fucking fans. Like, how about stand on a decision and get some fucking heat or something? Well, Mox is supposed to be a good guy. Okay, then have Takeshita kick him in the balls or something. Like, okay, he hits him with the move, the crowd pops. Why? Because Takeshita's the good guy. And then all you're doing is taking the New Japan World Champion and going, oh, look, he looked really strong against our Continental Champion or whatever the fuck. Like, no shit. What? How does that help anybody? But he lost. So how did that help anybody?
The best guy is Tony Khan.
It's just poorly booked, and then Mox is like, oh, they actually have to cheer what happens, so let me fucking take this guy's move one more time. Why? Just end a match. Not every match needs something extra. Just stand on your shit. Oh, what, you don't want to give the fans everything all at once? No, you can't do that. That you become the MCU when you do that. You fucking oversaturate, it becomes bullshit. If everything happens all the time, then nothing means anything when something happens. If everything happens all the time, then nothing means anything when something happens. Put that on a fucking... I am telling you, that shit will live in infamy, okay? That's like Homer quotes and shit right there. William Shakespeare over here, okay? We talk more about Grand Slam, and at the House Rule show, Megabad pinned the Babes of Wrath while Harley Cameron's foot was on the ropes and won the women's tag championship. It was an accidental title change.
You fucked up! You fucked up! You fucked up! Ladies and gentlemen, the referees have informed me that due to Harley Cameron's foot being on the rope, this match will continue right now!
And if it wasn't accidental, maybe it was just that was the plan for the house show. I just don't think Tone's a good enough booker to even think of something simple like that to elevate. But possibly. Speaking of women's tag teams at Grand Slam, and this is what everybody was talking about, and it sort of broke the internet a little bit. Just kidding. But the Inspiration are officially all elite. People were triggered by this. And I think this is a situation where people have the right to be triggered by this, because these are precisely the types of wrestlers that everyone would be shitting on if they were still in WWE. These are precisely the types of wrestlers that AEW sickos shit on in general. The Iconics, the Inspiration, they are people that, and not to shit on them, I love them. I want to see them back in WWE. I told you guys they should sign somewhere. Hey, I even suggested before they should go from TNA to AEW if they get a bag. And I want to see Tony Khan sign more people that can sports entertain, and they need more people like this. However, These are the exact type of wrestlers that sickos would clown on and shit on if they were in TNA or WWE. In fact, they were just shitting on them recently on NXT and TNA during the invasion. They were fucking shitting on them, or the showdown, whatever you want to call it. I love the Iconics, but this is the peak of what Tone has to offer. Like, he is not going to do anything of significance. Maybe they'll become tag champions, but when the AEW fans pop for this and go, oh my God, this is amazing, they would be shitting on this. This is like when Sid went to ECW. And it just shows how fucking hypocritical the whole gatekeeping aspect and the whole, like, we're the standard bearers, real wrestling. Now, sickos are going to do one of two things. They're either going to greatly reject the inspiration, the Iconics, or they're going to embrace them wholeheartedly, like what happened here. But this was in Australia. Australia. They're not even reacting that crazy, and they don't really give a shit. And I bet you they'll hold those women's tag belts, but that's what's going to happen. Or they're being brought in to introduce ROH women's tag belts, which I could totally see Tone doing without question. If those don't already exist, those might already exist, and I don't even know, because there's too many titles in AEW and ROH. And ROH, I just watch when they have like one of their PLEs, like one of the, Final Battle and shit. Like, that's from before Tone's time, so I got to check it out. But this is all I'm saying. These are the wrestlers that AEW fans reject vehemently. If any casuals were to see them and go, oh, I'll check this out. Well, they shitted on them when they were in NXT. They shitted on them when they were in WWE. And they shitted on them when they were in TNA. Point blank. The people that AEW caters to. And the fans gatekeep and go fuck off. And this is real wrestling. And these girls were literally getting clowned on their AMC TNA debut when they dropped the titles. On their AMC TNA debut match is what I meant to say. Rather, when they dropped the titles. I don't want to hear people getting excited for, or I do. Like, I don't mean to shit on them. Good for them. But, like, fuck's sakes, man. How hypocritical does this fan base got to be? Who's going to stand up and go, yeah, it's an L if our fan base cheers this shit on? Let's be honest. They need to turn them heel. We don't like these types of sports entertainers around these parts. We don't like your kind around here. Sports entertainers around these parts here. I love the Iconics, and I want to see them win tag gold all over the place. And good for them. Like, this is what they need to do. Just be kind of part-timey models who also get paid a lot of money to be pro wrestlers here and there. That's what they kind of want to do, and they've been doing, which I'm all for. I'm not even against that. I'm just saying, like, the fan base. What the fuck? You guys didn't boo this out the building? These are exactly the type of people that not only have the sickos clowned recently, I think this year, they were clowning them specifically, but they are the type of wrestlers that they claim they hate, like sports entertainment slop or whatever they want to, fed slop or whatever they want to call it. So it's quite interesting to see the hypocrisy on display once again, as it were. Speaking of Grand Slam, everyone just close your eyes while I scroll so you don't vomit. Their crowd or lack thereof. And who knows if this was from the start of the show or what, but backstage hallway. It looks empty as fuck. This looks like before the show even started, but this is just a look of the arena that somebody posted. Yeah, this is well before the show started, but look, they went and filmed the ring. Now, I don't think the ring was super tiny. I think it was a standard ring, or maybe they closed the space between the barricades. Maybe they used the smaller ring, but this is how the way the bars are constructed here. Or maybe I'm off on this, but remember Tone was like, well, AEW rings are built a special way, so... Or is this a 16 by 16? I think they just closed the gap between the barricade and the ring. I'm not sure. Is this another ring gate? Is this another ring gate? I don't know, dude, but I feel like they're showing off the ring to show like we actually brought a ring this time. And it's so funny because Tone's cope was like, well, we build our rings a very special way that no one's built a ring before. And it's like, all right, then fucking build one in Australia. It can't be that expensive when you're this much of a fucking billionaire. Like, find someone to make one in Australia then. What's going on? You can't find somewhere to store one in Australia? And you're talking about going to Australia all the time? Doesn't even fucking make sense, buddy. So we talked about the ticket sales and whatnot, and fans received free seat upgrades at Grand Slam Australia. So that bitch was empty. The crowd was dead in comparison to the last Grand Slam show, and a bunch of people were upgraded free tickets, and then they ushered a bunch of free people in and tried to get as many people as they could in the building for free. And it's just a slap in the face to everybody who bought fucking tickets previously. Imagine you spent $200 because they gouged. Imagine you spend $250 per person, and then they're like, oh, we'll upgrade your seats and shit. And then they just let a bunch of people in free when you would have been perfectly satisfied with your $200 seats if everybody paid $200 seats and it was packed. It's fucking crazy. You can't do a fire sale last minute, Tone. Like it fucks with your fans. It just lets people know to wait to buy tickets and that you're a free company that gives away free fucking tickets. And it was massively down. And we're going to see Wembley's about to be one of the most papered fucking houses of all time. And we'll talk about Wembley in a minute here, but fans also called out the limited merch at Grand Slam Australia. There was sold out. There were sold out titles and limited merch there. Someone actually took a picture. Let's see if Ringside News actually posted the fan picture. But there was a post of literally like one type of fucking shirt. So huge lines for merchandise. Here, let's look. Yeah, we have a bunch of posts. Shout out Ringside News for this, and let's watch some shit. So here's the lineups for merch. Huge lineups for merch. Obviously, you paid that much or you got ushered in for free to this event that fucking nobody gives a shit about. You're obviously going to, like, you're a sicko in Australia if you even know about AEW. So obviously you're going to grab some merch, right? Or you're going to at least check it out. Grand Slam. So this guy says Grand Slam actually got the worst merch stand I've ever seen. Holy, buddy. Pulls the Canadian. Holy. Was waiting in line. I was waiting in line for like 15 minutes, then realized they don't have anything decent. So I left. Laughing me ass off. Laughing me arse off. So merch situation at AEW seems to be the same as last year. Things already sold out. World title in AEW. It's for the sicko shirts. You would have thought they would have learned from Brisbane last year. For fuck's sakes, man. We're not asking for special treatment, just a fair opportunity on merch. This is the fan reception. Like, Tone, you stink. Jesus. Tone stinks. Get somebody better on fucking
The best
merch.
guys, Tony Khan.
Get somebody better fucking marketing and promoting. Spend the money. Dave's saying you're getting 3.6 million every week. So you can't. I wonder if it's incumbent upon he has to be live and he just worked himself into a fucking shoot, brother, to where he has to go live unless there's like unforeseen shit or there's like an X amount of pre-tape shows. Like, I'm curious. Just go to Australia for 2 months this year doing house shows all over, smaller venues, little whatever places. Film Dynamite and Collision, pre-tape some shit, go live for 2 of them, maybe 2 a month, once a month, tape the rest, pay the dirt sheets to not spoil shit. You already do that. Co-op them and give them free interviews so that they don't leak your shit. You already do that. Start actually building up a fan base there. Go to the UK, hit every fucking, we want to go to Paris soon. What the fuck? Why? Because WWE went there and UFC's there. And TKO left an imprint and they spent time building the markets there. Why? Why do you want to go to Paris? Just because you can? Then spend the money on actually building it up and actually fucking having people go, damn, I want to see the stars of AEW return here. Like, actually hit these places, do cheaper shows, fill up smaller buildings, do TV, shoot some YouTube programming, tape some fucking shows, rotate, tell a good story, rotate your roster that way a little bit, and then go there. Do it in Japan, do it in all these places. You're getting all these millions every fucking week. Do some house shows. Start doing house shows in America, in Canada, in the UK. You have all this fucking money. Start doing it. Your sets aren't getting better. The production's getting worse and lazier. You're doing smaller venues more and more. Why not just fucking do it? I don't get ahead of the game. Beat it to the punch and then start the rebuilding process that Dave Meltzer says you're in, but then also says you're beating Raw, and fucking MJF goes, everything's up year over year. But Dave's saying you guys are rebuilding. Dave calls your boss calls Dave. So you're all not on the same fucking page. And everyone points it out, and you know what I mean? You just want to argue against it. Why do the fans got to clamor for good merch? Your marketing's fucking terrible. Get away from pro wrestling tees, and get down with pro wrestle tee. PWT. Get out with the pro wrestling tees and get down with the PWT.
That's great.
And like, do your own merch shit. Work out better merch deals for guys. Make sure you have merch in Australia and of size standard fucking pro wrestling rings. Like, what are we doing here, man? It's a shit show. Why was there not enough merch there when you already didn't sell a bunch of tickets? So imagine if it was as big of a success that Tone thought it was going to be. You would have ran out of merch. It would have been 10 times as worse with the little amount of merch you had there. Or did Tone just go, fuck it, and they just don't care what they send there? And Pro Wrestle Tees can't fucking produce enough product and ship it out there in time for the fans. Like, why are you shortchanging them and then gouging them on the ticket prices when there's no demand there? It's fucking crazy. This guy says, we're not asking for special treatment, just a fair opportunity for merch. Please remember the everyday fans who make the atmosphere what it is. We just want a shot at the belt, no pun intended. This guy says, AEW Grand Slam merch is a huge letdown this year. Really average stuff and limited options compared to Brisbane. Also, we no longer get a $50 merch voucher, but a bucket hat instead. So, like, why are they downgrading? Why is Tone
guys, Tony Khan.
We need to see Tony Khan go on Caleb Hammer financial audit. So Sioban says, how the fuck is there no Brody King merch? He's in your main event. Fuck me dead. You're fucking kidding. What's up with their merch department? None of my wrestling shirts fit me anymore. Too big on me now. Thanks, weight loss estrogen. So now I'm just wearing a hate breed shirt to AEW Grand Slam as a way to signify I'm down with Brody fucking King. The Australia merch they got is fucking gross, piss yellow and green fishing shirt with the shape of Australia with the AEW logo in the middle. And this is the problem too. Their merch is the cheapest, laziest, fucking sloth, man. AI. They were making these AI fucking shirts. They were garbage. Now they've gotten away from that. Whoever's doing their shirts now is better. They always go with the lowest hanging fucking fruit for the slogans. And they just go with the lazy, we're in your town shirt. WWE, they have the like 316 in your city. Like, they obviously do the city focus shirts, RKO in St. Louis and all of these things. Yeah, they do that. Absolutely. But they do it at a fucking way. Like, they have all these partnerships, and let's say they've hogged those up so AEW can't get any of those. That's totally fine. But they at least do it at a way higher level where their designs are nice and shit. It looks like shit you'd buy and wear around. With AEW, it's just the most generic EA Sports. It's in the game. You know, when you guys get like EA games like NHL, Madden, or fucking FIFA, right? And then you go to create a custom team, and it's just all the same logos copied over in each game, and it's just the same 10 logos every fucking year, and it's just like generic. Oh yeah, here's the continent of Australia with like their flower or like a kangaroo in the corner, and you can just slap that on a jersey. It's just generic shit. This person's calling it out too, saying like, yo, like, I get it's our colors and everything here, but bitch, you ain't John Cena. This is some fucking, bright yellow, piss yellow garbage, easy fucking generic, like 6th grader level idea of hack fucking idea for merchandise. What the fuck? Like, we're people. We're not just like, I don't know, man. It's like they go to the UK and they have these fucking bruv jerseys and shit. And it's like, yeah, obviously you want a bit of that stuff. They're also just wrestling fans. Like, they're people, you know, they're people like everyone else. Offer them sweet looking shit that isn't like an ECW ripoff or something. So it's crazy you have that many instances of people calling out the merch. What a fucking L. And I'm one to talk. I still haven't rolled out fucking merch. While they were in Australia, Kyle Fletcher showed up at PWA Coliseum in his home of Sydney, Australia.
He is the AEW TNT Champion. He is the Bruno Star. He is Kyle Fletcher.
So good for him. He cut a promo and shit.
PWA! Say my full name!
That's cringe. Oh, God. That's super cringe. So MJF is showing up at HOG Wrestling
at Revolution,
and he's going to take on Zilla Fatu for the Crown Jewel Championship. So you got your quote unquote top guys and your champions just working indie dates and shit.
Zilla Fatu. People think you're next up. People think you have the potential to be the next big Samoan sensation, like The Rock, like Roman. Big shoes to fill, my friend. You know what I think? Gosh, I think you're just another sloppy Samoan Nepo baby back bitch. And I'm going to prove it. I'm coming to House of Glory and I'm putting the grandest prize of them all, the Triple B, the AEW World Championship, on the line. My friend, when this match is over, you'll be done getting on your hands and knees praying to the tribal chief, and you're going to have to start praying to Big Hebrew.
His fake tan is wearing off a little bit there. The lighting's really fucked up. But here's the thing, man. Why are people on indies getting world title shots at AEW's world title before people in AEW and shit? Like, it doesn't even make sense. It's so fucking stupid. It's actually kind of cooked. And we're going to talk about MJF a little bit more. Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy were out there doing a bunch of press for Grand Slam Australia and whatnot. And they weren't on Fanatics, but they were called on Fanatics View, or they were on something called Fanatics View. Pardon me.
How's your relationship with Tony Khan?
He's a wonderful.
Oh, no. Sorry. I wanted to play this after. Editing Phil. Whoop, 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 whoop. We're editing that. Yeah, I wanted to play that after. That's in the Tony Khan section because we do have some cringe. I want to go over some of the boring stuff like the ratings and attendances. But I just want to make sure I cover everything from Grand Slam first. So in other indie / AEW news, the Inspiration will be heading to TJPW on March 29th to challenge Wakana Yuihara and Yuki Kamifuku for the Princess Tag Team Championship. So they're going to put some work in this Japanese match. Meltzer's going to give it 5 stars. And then they're going to pretend like, oh, these girls can really go and they're really good wrestlers now and shit. I swear something like that is going to fucking happen. Also, Lena Cross, another Australian star, became All Elite. And instead of introducing her in any type of way, they put her out in front of a fucking crowd. Nobody gave a shit. And then the commentary goes, oh, well, she was on Collision once before. We haven't seen her since, Taz. Like, buddy, introduce her in a more clever way. Like, this is when doesn't work and doesn't get over. Nobody gets over. We talked about the House Rule show and people getting upgraded tickets and all of that. And at Grand Slam, they didn't necessarily. People call it Grand Scam to this day, which is just terrible. Jake Doyle had successful surgery this week. So hopefully he recovers and comes back soon. And I hope he's doing all right. Andrade El Idolo told Rey Fenix they could conquer the world and win all of the tag team championships. And he told Rey Fenix that he should come over to AEW and join him as a tag team. And it's like, bro, you left him high and dry in WWE and probably fucked up his push. So what the fuck are we talking about here? Per Fightful, Chris Jericho is firmly under contract with AEW, and the belief among those around Jericho and within AEW is that his deal was frozen, quote unquote, after he took time off in 25. Now, I'm calling shenanigans a bit, and I have an allegedly for you guys. And the person telling me this would not even say this, would not even waste their time on this wrestling shit.
Allegedly.
If this wasn't like legit in some form or fashion here. So I'm going to read you guys this DM I got about it because we're on Chris Jericho. What? But apparently and here's what's crazy is I heard this shit, and then like a couple hours later, this Fightful Select stuff comes out. And this keeps happening. You notice when this happens, I think it's to muddy the water, honestly, because Jericho works the sheets. He keeps everything closely guarded. And I think Dave Pesner said, he was like, I know Jericho. I've known him for years. And like, unless you're his agent or his wife, you don't know what he's up to, or like you're really close to him. I got a DM saying, okay, so this could be a big behind the scenes work because he's known to work people in the past, but apparently Jericho still hasn't signed a new WWE contract. He told this directly to someone I know. So listen to the wording of that. He still hasn't signed a new WWE contract. So what does that mean? And it also came out, I guess, that Tony Khan allegedly froze Jericho. Like he's been frozen because he's taken time off. And I just don't think that it just doesn't pass the smell test because Tone can't and doesn't freeze guys for just simply taking time off or going on tour or shooting a movie or doing TV. He can't and doesn't and won't freeze people for doing that. If you get hurt, that's another conversation. But even guys like Edge and them, I've heard rumors. This is all rumors and innuendo. I've heard, and I'm not a dirt sheet, that guys like Edge, even if they get hurt, they're not frozen. I was curious about, does Edge have another year and shit? And then they're talking about, well, his deal could be up in September. And that lined up with exactly what I was saying before. I think I'm pretty spot on. I've been pretty spot on with like the contract shit, okay? Let me just say this right now. I don't think unless, and it's not outside the realm of possibility that Jericho, it was unplanned time off and Jericho agreed like, yeah, sure. If you keep paying me, I'll freeze my deal if you give me this time off, Tone, because we didn't plan on taking it off. But I've also pointed out that Winnipeg Dynamite is on April Fool's Day. It's true. Now, for Jericho, him returning to AEW is an L, period. He has to go to WWE, and I'm going to tell you why. No one gives a fuck. So here's his dilemma. No one cares if he goes back to AEW, not even AEW fans. They were chanting, please retire at him. They don't give a fuck. No one will care. It will not do anything for the houses or ratings or anything. And that's not even burying Chris. It's just he's been there for years and they were tanking. You can't put it all on him. But he's been there since day one, all the time, consistently. People saying he's washed. He's still wrestling fucking full time every show. He was just there the whole time through the highlights and the lowlights. Jericho's been there. So you can't really put any metric of anything other than I'd say like initial success and then maybe some of the downswing for sure because he was doing some shit that people didn't like, and including the AEW fans, and that reflects in them telling him to fucking retire and hang it up. Jericho going to WWE, there's a shitload of people who don't give a fuck about that either, who don't care at all. But there is a lot of people and a lot of casuals who would love if he returned to WWE and see him have a retirement. See, if he's in AEW, people just want to see him retire. If he goes back to WWE, there are people who just want to see him retire, but there's a lot of motherfuckers who want to see him have a retirement tour at the same time in WWE, quote unquote, John Cena type thing, or not even that. Just come in for a quick 2-year run, put someone over, get out, or a 1-year run. Put someone over, Hall of Fame, get out. There's a lot of people who would want to see that. And you can tell by the crowds the way they're chanting and shit like that. So this is what I was told. This could be behind the scenes work because he's known to work people in the past, but apparently Jericho still hasn't signed a new WWE contract. He told this directly to someone I know. At the same time, someone said that he heard Dom versus Jericho is still an idea for WrestleMania and that a Balor versus JD angle, to know if it would be WrestleMania specifically, is something Balor has been calling for. This is all rumors and innuendo. This is South Park, okay, guys? So I also think JD, turning on Balor could be the ultimate betrayal that nobody sees coming, because we all see the Judgment Day breaking up a bit, but we all see JD sticking with Finn. However, what if JD becomes the leader of the Judgment Day and helps get rid of Finn? And that could be the heartbreak it takes to unleash the demon. Finn and JD could have a banger of a match on a WrestleMania card. However, I just don't think maybe the betrayal could come at Mania and then the demons unleashed at Backlash or some shit. I don't know. And I'm not saying JD, they would ever put him as a solo act on a WrestleMania card, but hey, I wouldn't be mad at it entirely. It could open a WrestleMania and they could just go out there and blow the fucking roof off the place. And so I don't hate on JD entirely if that's the way they choose to go. But yeah, from what I'm hearing, Jericho just has not signed a deal yet with WWE, whatever the fuck that means. And actually, to confirm the validity of this report here at PWT News, Phil Marks News, here is Chris Jericho.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let me get wild! Yay!
So Willow Nightingale, she appeared on the news, the Hot to News, ABC 10, to promote Dynamite on February 18 in Sacramento.
When I started wrestling, it was very selfish, where I was like, I'm a big fan, I love this, I want to do this. And that's where I think the bubbliness and like the wanting to have everybody be in a good mood comes from, because wrestling always made me happy. And so I go out there, I get to live out my childhood dream, I get to smile and wave at the crowd and everything. But then when I get in there and the bell rings, I get to kind of show this duality. It's like, oh, I'm this happy, wonderful woman, but I'm gonna be a champion in there. I'm gonna beat you up and show you why I'm the winner. Yeah.
And, that's
yeah, she's definitely someone you want to have on the news repping your company. She looks great. She speaks well. She's got 2 titles. I mean, Tone's got 3 cups, but two belt Willow over here. She just looks great, and I hope that they continue to push her, I guess. And it's weird they did the flip-flop with the titles. Like, I guess technically it didn't count as Bane and Penelope becoming champs or whatever, but Johnny Loves Taya is returning. So they fucking canceled that AEW show, but season 2 of Johnny Loves Taya has officially started. Watch episode 1 on the AEW YouTube page. So this is like a little sitcom. And I like the idea, like every Saturday on the AEW YouTube channel. And I like the idea of a wrestling company like using their YouTube channel to give people shows and stuff like this. But what's the budget on it? They just film it. Things are stop and start. PWT Unrestricted. Sorry. That's my show that's coming on Patreon, where I'm going to fucking roast AEW Unrestricted, guys. That is coming soon too. And I'm going to call it PWT Unrestricted. But it's one of like the worst pods ever with Will Washington and Aubrey Edwards. And it's just to keep them happy and busy with something, justify their fucking jobs. AEW Unrestricted. And then AEW is actually funny. I'm not even trying to shit on this. It's a good idea, I guess. Johnny Mundo and Johnny TV and Taya Valkyrie. But like, who's watching this? What kind of views does it do? Are they just happy doing this into the void until they get a push on TV? I don't know, man. I know they're featured in ROH and whatnot, and Taya's expressed that she's happy, like in her role. Who's watching this? You know, didn't she start like a travel vlog as well? And Kayla Braxton appears in it, I guess, and she's like, "Oh, does this mean that I'm signed to AEW? We'll see." AEW Double or Nothing 2026 has officially been announced for Sunday, May 24th at Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, New York. So I don't even think gambling's allowed in New York. I don't think. New York, New York. Dun, 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 dun. And speaking of Queens and New Yorkans, however you refer to them, MJF was out here talking some shit to Raj Giri. So let's see here. Raj Giri had this to say. Actually, oh yeah, he deleted it. So MJF said, "Hey Raj, I know you're a huge fan of my work. Granted, how can you not be? I'm the best. So, out of respect, I'm just going to have to correct you without verbally bending you over, which is hard for me. We are up in every single market in the States year over year." That's a objective fucking lie, buddy. And I don't care. I don't care what Raj Giri posted or deleted, MJF. You hear me? That's a fucking lie.
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
You a journalist or a grifter? I believe in you, buddy. Thanks for deleting your original tweet. It takes a real man to take back misinformation. I will now delete all 500 of my drafts on you. I don't know, buddy. If this was the case, then why is Double or Nothing not in Vegas? Which, okay, you want to move it around to different cities, that's fine. But look at your Vegas numbers and shit. Like, it's just objectively false. Is what it is, man. It's delusional. MJF is the world champ, and they sent him on a sicko spurg spree. And then he does little things like Jeffrey Epstein, fuck that guy. Or he goes, Booker T's the man. And I really like Book. And then he does this little ass kiss shit to try and get everyone on his side. But realistically, you're headed to Ricochet territory with all these fucking copes, MJF, Maxwell. And so MJF, he gets his card pulled here. I think Julian Weeks posted a screen grab and was like, Max going around here talking about being up year over year is crazy, considering the last two Dynamites were both lower than the previous visits. And we were less than 2 months into 26. Like, come on, dog. Again, you can just see it. The last time Dynamite was there, 5,000 tickets. This time, 4,000 tickets. The last time Dynamite was at the place they're at right now, 2,800 tickets, 2,869. This Dynamite, 2,831 is the configuration for the sellout. So like about the same, but lower, right? So if they sell out this setup, which it doesn't even look like they did, or they may have just barely, then you're still wrong, Maxwell. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still wrong, buddy. And we just started 26. It's a fucking cope. Like, quit coping. It's whatever. I don't actually blame Maxwell. Like, you got to put your company over. But then, like, why is Raj...
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
So MJF says AEW is in a better place after Problem Children left. And I'm like, man, you know, the Young Bucks are still there. Why would you say such mean things about them? And so in boring TV ratings / attendance news here, as we were talking about the year-over-year attendance, so AEW presents Revolution, March 15. They've distributed 9,200 tickets. They're set up for 10,100. The last time they were there, they sold 11,600 tickets. or they distributed. So again, this looks to be down year over year. Maybe they do the same number, but certainly not up, MJF. AEW Dynamite, March 4 at the Don Haskins Center. The last time they were there, it's their venue debut. They distributed 1,800 tickets. They're set up for 2,600. A couple years ago, you guys would have sold 4,000 tickets and still would have got clowned on. Because a couple years before that, you would have sold 8,000 tickets or whatever the fuck. So it's a bunch of bullshit. Grand Slam last Saturday did 561 with a .10 in the key demo. So NXT whips Dynamite's ass. NXT beat this Grand Slam. This Grand Slam slaughtered TNA. But this is a huge number for a Saturday show, which some people are saying, oh, it's like Collision. It's just basically a glorified Collision. Now, I disagree. 561, man. That's about what Dynamite does now. So there's still a lot of people who won't tune into a Saturday show, but there's like 250,000 of these fucking sickos who float around. They pop in when Dynamite does something hot. They pop in when Collision does something hot. They float in and out. They're AEW casuals, dude, and that's totally fine. But this is a great number for Collision. Good for them, or for AEW on a Saturday. Good for them. But it doesn't math when it comes to the Invisible Max numbers. So does this mean this show did well over 1 million viewers or whatever the fuck? I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. And that's what Battle of the Belts should have been. It's funny how Tony just fucked that all up too. AEW Dynamite, this is tonight. So again, the venue they're in, their last Dynamite, so they did beat it. Okay, here's one where they're up. So they outsold 3,007. 3,007 was the max setup. They beat it. They're up year over year by like 150 tickets we'll give them in this market. So I guess round of applause for MJF and Tone. They sold 150 more tickets. So their setup was sold out. You got to take the W's where you can get them, man. You got to take the W's where you can get them. Speaking of taking W's where you can get them, man, Ricochet was struggling to get a fucking W, and he always is whenever he's on social media. And here's Dr. Mark Sampson clapping back and shitting on Ricochet for his comments directed towards Jimmy Corderas. And Doc Sampson is the doctor at AEW, and even he's like, oh, come on now, Ricochet.
Come on now, Eric.
Come on now, Rick. That's not very fair to shit on Jimmy Corderas. And I agree. People, these fucking sickos, and people show Jimmy Corderas way less respect than he fucking deserves. He was there for so many huge, massive fucking matches and uprise of fucking so many legends. It's crazy.
Enough is enough. And the only reason I'm chiming in on this, Chance, is for this one reason, is disrespect to Jimmy Corderas. Now, Jimmy Corderas, for those who may know or not know, one of the most tenured WWF, WWE referees in history. This man has been at the forefront of some of the biggest events. Forget front row seats. This guy was in the ring at arm length of many of these moments. I'm talking about Undertaker Yokozuna. I'm talking about the Royal Rumbles from the first one to maybe up to like 29, 28. Okay, this guy's been a part of them. Referee for some of the greatest matches. Let's us not forget, he was the referee in the ring when Owen fell. The first person to get to Owen was him. Enough is enough. And the only reason.
So yeah, whoever posted this said Mr. Sampson sharing his thoughts on Ricochet's vile comments directed at Jimmy Corderas. And yeah, it's just gross to go after him. Like, he's just giving his fucking opinion. Like, what? Okay, he hates on AEW, and then a bunch of wackos stan his shit. And then what has it done? It's not like it turned his podcast into this fucking heater banger that everyone's fucking watching. Like, who gives a shit? Shut up, you know? He's allowed to have his opinion, and his opinion's more valued than fucking people like a lot of these wrestlers, than Ricochet's. Jimmy Corderas has a way more valuable opinion than Ricochet does on this shit, I assure you. Fucking point blank. And speaking of terrible opinions and taking your fucking clout where you can get it. AEW literally thanked Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer for their fucking awards, dude. And Meltzer was like,
"Oh my god, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen."
And then he was all
the best
like,
guys, Tony Khan.
And then Tone was like, with 3 cups in his hand. But they flex this, and we saw it in real time how Sports Illustrated was co-opted. Look at all of Alba's shitty, cringe ass fucking tweets, right? And he got co-opted for Sports Illustrated. We watched it in real time. It's the same thing with the Observer. And as we're going to cover on DMDMW, Alfred Kunawa chronicled how Dave suggests something and his readers and listeners follow. And that's how they vote on these fucking votes. Like, you have to be a sycophant to even be a voter in the shit or to even read the shit. And AEW flexed these like they did the Sports Illustrated awards. And that Dave was like, well, Tone, it's like, except, Brian, it's like, Tony, you posted SI. All of these awards are fake other than mine.
He had Cuervo with him the whole time too.
Brian, they need to feature us if you're going to feature Sports Illustrated. That's not even a real publication. That's what Dave was saying. I don't take any of these awards seriously, but Sports Illustrated got it spot on. Fucking completed.
Or, the young superstar, babyface, that former heel thing. So,
and it is just what Dave likes. That's what his people, his sycophants, vote. And Tone went ahead and posted this as if it was some sort of flex, and it's pretty goofy. I'm not going to lie. What, am I fucking blocked by these idiots? What's going on over here? Why can't I remove that shit? So, in other controversial news, CNN confirms in an article that WBD owns a minority stake in AEW. So just confirming what we kind of already knew and what we've known for a long time. But a president in the Hall of Fame, the embrace of contemporary issues is part of a larger politically shaded rivalry. I'm a dumbass playing out in the industry between the 7-year-old AEW and the industry's ruling juggernaut for generations, WWE. WBD, CNN's parent corporation, owns a minority stake in AEW. So just confirming what we already know. And I think, again, we're going to learn that they've just been peeling off the top. And speaking of peeling off the top and being co-opted and the Wrestling Observer, Dynamite Dave. And this is and will be in Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. We'll talk about this again a little bit tomorrow, but he's already launched his defense over the CMLL tag rules. And we're going to roast Dave more tomorrow. Time cop. But you guys remember when Dave Meltzer was saying, and we covered this on DMDMW live every Thursday night. Remember when Dave was saying that AAA and WWE getting in bed together, WWE co-opting AAA and owning them would fucking begin the mark of the downfall of Mexican wrestling and Americanizing Lucha Libre and all this shit, right? And then what happened? Well, CMLL has abandoned their fucking captain rule for tag matches. What's missing here? CMLL confirms they've dropped captain rules, and all matches are now one person on a team gets pinned to end the fall. So Dave Meltzer went out there and said, yo, WWE's going to kill Lucha tradition and all this shit. And then you see Tone going out there and taking pictures with Wheeler Yuta and fucking Claudio and the CMLL belt on Collision, trying to steal their fucking history. And then not only that, he's actually changing the fucking rules because they're trying to Americanize this shit, CMLL is, by removing the captain rule. Where's Dave's article talking about how doing the doom and gloom? So in CMLL trios matches, each team designates a captain. A fall is won by pinning, submitting the opposing captain, or by defeating both of their teammates. Matches are typically 2 out of 3 falls, and if the captain is pinned, the entire fall ends immediately. So they abandoned that rule. And it's just first fall to a finish. And again, we're going to fucking cook Dave for this shit. in Mexico, CMLL is trying to portray this as they're your local promotion, giving you the product that's part of your culture. AAA is being run by outsiders with no regard for that culture. Paul Levesque saying AAA will continue to be traditional, even though AAA never was in the first place, is the attempt to counter that impression. Like, look at this crybaby, whiny little sucky fucking, you know what I mean? Dave Meltzer's such a cuck.
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
And then you see fucking how he reacts to CMLL, no reaction when they've removed the fucking captain rule. And why else would they do that? It has to be because of Tony Khan and AEW. There's no other reason for it.